Every great game is decided in the last minutes, in the last quarter, in the last stretch of the play. Over the past several weeks, we've been in a series called Play Your Own Game. We've talked about comparison, individuality, and the power of owning your unique journey. And I want you to hear this clearly. You don't win your health game by playing someone else's game. You win by playing your game and playing it all the way until the final whistle. Tonight is a special series, a special show, because we're closing out one series and we're preparing to launch another. We spent the past several weeks in the Play Your Own Game series, learning why comparison kills, why individuality matters, and how owning your journey is the key to winning your health. And now we're going to bring it all together with a powerful message: how to reset your health and finish strong. This is the capstone to Play Your Own Game, and the bridge into our brand new series. So stick with me, because this one is going to set the stage for what we do next. Hey, if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. If you're new to me, go ahead and put new in the comments, because I'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that we are excited that you're here. If you have questions, go ahead and put those questions in the comments. Make sure you put a Q in front of it, because I want to make sure that I get to that as we move through the show, and that we answer that. We are living limitless lives, y'all, and we're gonna set the stage for what we do next. Hey, I've got some interesting things that we're gonna take a look at. I've got my monitors, I've got my Keto Mojo and my Contour monitor, and of course, right below me, that is my Dexcom Clarity Report, which we'll take a look at here in just a little while. One of the things that I do want to point out to you, if you've not joined us yet for our series, we're in the Bridge to Mastery, which is the bridge for our current strength, strategy, and mindset series. We did the 100-day walk to consistency in health. We did the 100-day of strength, strategy, and mindset, and we're in that bridge before we get into our next part of our MOVE campaign. Remember, MOVE, M-O-V-E, metabolic optimization via exercise. It is the functional activity arm of what we do. So in our Limitless Living Health Action Plan, we've got our walking, we've got our strength training, and those are combined right now into the MOVE campaign. We'll be adding more to that, but make sure you get over there and watch it. If you've not done so over the last couple of days, we've been actually traveling, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you so that you can see what we've been doing. This is me doing my exercises on the beach. All right, so we're on the beach, and we're working on our, this is our high knee marches. You see the birds out there. I'm having a good time, back and forth, back and forth. Let's see, what else am I doing over there? I got some squats that we were working on. Make sure you come along and join us. And this is designed so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just plug in and get right in there and join us. The other thing, let me go back and let's find another episode, which was another one. And this was an interesting one because I did not have any of my equipment. And so often people will say to me, hey, you got this equipment out there, and so you're doing some things, but I didn't have any equipment, and so here I am. This is in the condo. I'm doing my 5-minute circuit. It actually turned out to be more than 5 minutes, but that's okay. Here I am. I'm doing. Let's see, what am I doing? My leg extensions, and one of the good ones was I was doing some push-ups right there off of the counter in our bathroom. So just because you don't have the equipment doesn't mean that you can't do the things you need to do to be healthy and continue working on that routine. If you are new to us, or if you're coming back for the first time, or you've been going away, or even if you've been in the community, you'll notice that we have some changes on the YouTube channel and some changes on our website. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you, because what I've done is we've streamlined what we're doing on the channel so that when you show up, you can jump right in and become a part. Let me go ahead and mute that. Jump in and become a part of what we're doing. So when you get to the channel now, you'll notice there are 2 playlists. One is entitled Start Here. So the Start Here is designed so that when you show up, you get to jump in and you can, it's a curated list of the videos that we've done that are the pivotal videos along the pathway that we are teaching. What do we do here on the channel? How do we teach? What are the important points that you want to get? And that will be here in the Start Here video. If you go into the playlist description, you will find that there is a link in there, and the link will allow you to download a free PDF that will walk you through the videos. It will help you categorize those videos so that you understand what you're supposed to be learning. There are some prompts that you get to answer. And at the end of that PDF, there is what we call the Limitless Living Commitment Statement. It is a statement of you deciding that you're going to take charge of your health, take charge of your life, that you're going to do what you need to do to be successful. You get to sign that, you date it. I recommend that you print it out, put it in a frame, put it on the wall, put it on your counter, put it somewhere so that you could see it all the time. And I'm going to pop back over here because right here, on the wall back here, right there. So I've got a couple of commitment statements that I've done, right? And those are, I've got the Limitless Living one, and I've got a commitment statement that I did several years ago when I decided I was going to jump into this platform and begin teaching health. And every time I walk into the studio, it's right there. It reminds me of the things that I've decided I'm going to do. And so the commitment statement that you're going to do at the end of that PDF will help you to make that commitment. And there's a visual reminder of the things that you've said that you want to do to be healthy. Now, the other thing that you will find when you get to the website is this playlist is called This Week's Videos. This Week's Videos, and this is a list of all the videos that we're doing this week. So if you want to know what the conversations are for this week, if you want to know what we're doing for this week, what am I eating for my last meal before I get into the fast? What am I talking about in the fast? What am I going to eat as my first meal out of the fast? You want to get there, and that is where you will find all of those. In fact, this video that you're watching right now will show up there, and it will change based on the week. So if you're trying to find last week's videos, it won't be in that one. You'll have to find it somewhere else. It's still on the channel, but it allows you, this way, it allows you to just jump in and get started as quickly as possible, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and, well, the other thing is, let me get to our website, and that is DwainWoodeMD.com. DwainWoodeMD.com, and you will see some of this replicated there as well. So we've simplified all of it so that you can jump in right away and get started. So when you get to the website, the first thing that I love there is this scene, this panoramic that you see there, and it says reclaim your rhythm, redefine your life, welcome to Limitless Living, transforming health, mindset, and identity one intentional step at a time. And there's a guy standing on the mountain, and there's a panoramic view, and he's realizing that the potential that he has is unlimited. He has the choice. He can make decisions about his health and about what to do. And so that's just a visual reminder of this limitless living that we are doing. And then you scroll down, you'll see there's a welcome message for me that welcomes you to the website. And then down below, just like we did on the YouTube channel, you'll find two things here. The first one is something that says start watching videos, and that takes you to the playlist I just described with all the videos that walks you through the pathway. And then next to it is right here, you see download your free PDF or free guide. That is that guide I just described to help you move through the videos and move down the pathway. If you are coming and you are interested in getting off of that wheel that continues to be the frustration that all of us get into, where we're on that hamster wheel, getting back to the website, when you scroll past these two, you'll see there are Limitless Living accelerator programs. So you can jump in there. That's the community, that's the platform, that is our push. That is the thing that we use to incorporate all the things that we're learning. That is the vehicle to incorporate the things that we're learning so that you can be successful over the long haul. All right, love it. So let's go ahead now and let's hop over and we're going to take a look at blood sugars from my monitors. And the first one we're going to look at is my Dexcom Clarity. Actually, we're going to look at the Libre first. Let's do that one. So here is my Libre, and you'll see right there, that's my blood sugar, and it says that my blood sugar right now is an 82 blood sugar. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that's what my blood sugar graph looks like, and this is over the last 12 hours. And you see if I put my finger, I can scroll through that, and we're 80s, 90s, low 100s, 100, 110, and right about there, that's lunch. What time is that? Yeah, a little after lunch. And then, of course, into the evening as we come to where we are right now into the 80s. And as you guys know, I do typically when I'm not fasting, in my non-fasting time, I do a 1 meal a day. And so that's what you'll see there. You'll see some of those spikes, and the spike is my 1 meal a day. If I look at this further, I can go deeper, and here is my 7-day time in range. And you see right there, I'm in range 100% of the time, range being anywhere from 70 to 180. If I go to the 90-day, you'll see my average is 80. Well, I'm in range 87% of the time, and then you'll see that same thing here. Down at the bottom, you'll see that I'm actually low 13% of the time. So if you add 13 with 87, that gives you the 100 that you're seeing there. Let's go ahead and let's get over to the Dexcom. And the Dexcom right now says that my average blood sugar is 119. If I do the same thing where I scroll my finger across those numbers, you'll see that we were, well, down here, we were in the low 100s, 120s, 130s, low 100, teens, and right here is where my Dexcom expired, and so I had to change it, and so we were traveling, so I didn't change it until I got home, and then added another one there, and so you'll see 130s, 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 and then of course where we are right now. Okay, now let's go ahead and I'm going to see what my blood sugars are. This is based on my Keto Mojo and my Contour, and so for this I need to grab our handy dandy container, a brown for blood sugar, a blue for ketones. I need a strip for the Contour, and then I have a lancet. Let's go ahead and put this back over there, and we'll get a strip out for the Contour. Get that in. And I'm going to put this down. And let's go ahead and we're going to open the glucose strip first and get that in. And brown is the one that we use for that. Let's get this in here. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the ketone one as well. So it's the one, see, it always gives me the trouble. So I'm going to open it up and just have it off to the side right here. And here is my lancet. As you know, I don't use a lancing device. I use a lancet. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that off and just find a finger. And ow. And that should give me a good, brisk blood flow. Get that one started. And then let's go ahead and get this on for the Contour. And I'm going to go back here so we can see what this is. So here I am. This is the Keto Mojo. And the Keto Mojo is 83, 93 for the Contour. And then right here you see that my Dexcom says that I'm 119. Now let's go ahead and get this strip out. Get this one in. And this is the one for the ketones. And let's get a drop of blood. What do you think my ketones are going to be, by the way? So I've not been fasting since we broke our fast on Friday. So what do you think that's going to be? Let's get back over here. All right. So 0.3. So 0.3. And so when we think about ketones that are less than 0.5 are considered normal. 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. So right now, I'm not fasting. I'm 0.3, so that's in the in the normal range for ketones. When we do our check-in later this week, then we'll pull that over into our app and we'll talk a little bit more about ketones. And definitely you want to be here on Friday when we do our complete review of fasting, where we talk about how do we get into the fast, how do we successfully get through the fast, and then of course how do we break the fast. That will be a very instructive thing for us to do. And now let's go ahead and I'm going to hop over and let's take a look at my Dexcom Clarity Report. And so here I am. And so my average blood sugar right now is 110. That's my 14-day average, 110, according to the Dexcom. And here is, I'm in time and range is 98%. I'm in the target, which is anywhere from 70 to 180. My glucose management indicator is a 5.9. So if I were to get an A1C based on these numbers, it would approximate a 5.9. Now I can't call it an A1C because it's a calculated number, but that's what it should be around that. And if you were here last week or week before, we did a show where I actually showed my blood sugars, not my blood sugar, but all my labs when I went to have my doctor's visit, and you can get there and see what my A1C was. Okay, so it's pretty close, pretty close. And then now if I change this to 90 days, so I'm gonna change this to a 90-day view, and my average blood sugar is 115. So we tell people usually we want their average blood sugar to be between 100 and 120. So that's right in keeping there. And then I'm in target 98% of the time. Once again, target still being 70 to 180. And my glucose management indicator is a 6.1. If I go and we're going to take a look at my daily numbers over the last several days, and what I want to do is I want to scroll back. So this is Monday. I'm going to scroll back, and so we can start back here where we ended the fast. So here we ended the fast. We were actually traveling that morning, and so we ended the fast and started eating right in here. And so blood sugars went up to 160s, 165, and then 168 was the highest there, and then started coming back down. Low 100s, 120s, 130s, 140. I saw 140 right there. Climbing up further, 169, and then starting to come back down into the next morning. Right, so low 100s went up to about 150. I saw there, low 100s right here. This right here, I don't believe that number, that 55. That was a fluke. Probably the device got sideways somewhere. But anyway, picked back up at 120s, 130s, 110s, low 100s. As we got into the rest of that day, and then came down into the 90s, and then the next day, so now we're 2 days after the fast, and low 100s. So we're still out on vacation and eating, but look at that, look at those numbers. I love those numbers, 90s to low 100s, 120s, 130s, and then came down into the 70s and 80s. And continued into the low 100s, and then of course where we are today, and 90s to 100s. And here once again is where my Dexcom went out. So my G7 went out. It expired because it was time, and we were traveling. We were in the car, so I didn't get a chance to put on the new one until, was that 3 hours later? Yeah. About let's call it 3 hours later, and then picked up to 110s, 130s, and to where we are now. Let's get back over here so you could see that, and so where we are right now, so 120s. So pretty good numbers, and I love those because it shows the control that happens post-fasting. Now, there are things that I ate, like I ate some Cadbury chocolate. Didn't have any ice cream, which we didn't get any ice cream. It was a choice, but I really like ice cream, but we didn't get any. We didn't get any this time, but it did have the Cadbury. And you'll see there that the blood sugar went up. I think the highest it went up was 165, but didn't stay there, came back down, and for the most of the time was in the low 100s, sometimes dipping down into the 90s. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get into our discussion for tonight. A very important discussion that I want to get into. So let me do one thing here really quickly, and then we will get over there and get into our talk. This is one of those fun ones. People say, well, you always say that these are fun and you enjoy all of them. I do because it's a matter of growth for me, and so often we find ourselves feeling as though we're stuck. But I have been having such a good time with these series, and just having a good time, and then seeing the benefits that you guys are getting as well. So, all right, so let's get over there and let's get that discussion going. Are you ready? Okay, here we are. So most people think lasting health is about finding the perfect diet, the perfect workout, the perfect situation. But the truth is, it's not about perfection. It's about rhythm, and it's about consistency. It's about aligning your actions, your behaviors with your purpose, and putting a structure around it so that you can do it continually and that it can last. Remember, our goal is how do we keep you alive as long as possible and keep you as healthy as possible. Hey, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and in this session, I want to give you practical strategies that you can start applying right away to reset your health, to reclaim your energy, and to move towards living a truly limitless life. And so we're going to talk about all the things that we want to do, where we've been, and where we are going. And we're talking about finishing strong. And the first thing is to talk about the power, if you will, the power of playing your game. So in our community, I've seen people break through doing simple things, simply by letting go of comparison. One person was frustrated because they were looking at other people. Other people were walking farther, they were fasting longer, they were losing more weight, and it seemed as though this patient of ours, was not making any headway. Right? Because everybody else seemed to be doing better. But when they decided to stop measuring themselves against other people, against the other things that people were doing, it changed the focus. And it aligned them with their rhythm, with their walking, with their eating realities, with their meals. And that's when things began to shift, because they were playing their game. And the results followed, because the motivation was not the thing that needed to drive them. It was the structure that they had. And the structure gave consistency even during those times where they didn't feel like they wanted to do it, because they're comparing and they wanted to give up. That's been the heartbeat of the whole Play Your Game series. Number one, comparison kills. Mm-hmm. The moment you start measuring yourself and your journey against somebody else, then you lose momentum. You're spending a lot of energy looking at them. You're spending a lot of energy trying to actually sometimes do the things they were doing or they are doing. Remember, we either overreach, that is, we try to keep up, or we throw our hands up in frustration. So comparison kills. Number two, your journey is personal. Your start, your pace, your obstacles are all unique to you. But the destination, oh yeah, where we're heading, we're all heading in the same direction. We want to be as healthy as possible, and we want to stay alive as long as possible. We want long life and vibrant health. We're heading in the same direction. We're heading for the same thing, but how we get there can look different. Remember, consistency does not mean same. Consistency does not mean sameness. So when you show up, like when we are traveling, I don't have my weights. I don't have my dumbbells. I don't have the same equipment. I don't have the same space, but I have things that I can do. So I show up, and when I get there, what I do is different, but I'm showing up, and the consistency is the key. Showing up in the space to do what I need to do. And then playing your own game means honesty. Oh, come on. Being honest, being for real about where you are, what you struggle with, the obstacles, the challenges that you have. Being for real is the first step in playing your own game and the first step in being successful over the long term. That's where growth begins, because you're being honest. And so here's a tool that I want us to start. I want you to start this right now. We're going to use this as we get through the rest of the show. All right, I want you to get a piece of paper, get your journal, whatever you need to do. You can pause the video. And go ahead and grab your journal. You need a pencil, you need a piece of paper, you need your journal, right? We need one page. And so what we're going to do is we're going to divide that page into two halves, draw a line through the middle, right? Horizontally. And then the top half of that, you're going to break that into two. So now you have a line going horizontally, so top part and bottom part. And then the top part of that, you're going to draw a line, and you're going to have two columns. Make sense so far? So the very first part of that, the top half above the line, is you're going to write here in the left column, you're going to say comparison. And on the right side, you're going to say my game. So comparison, my game. And I want you to write down in the comparison the things that you've been comparing for other people. You've been looking at other people and say, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. They're fasting longer. They're losing more weight. They're exercising longer. They are, whatever it is, they're walking farther. They're lifting more. That's your comparison. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Top part, left column, comparison. And then in the right column where it says my game, I want you to write in that game what your game looks like. What's your version of what's been going on? So they're fasting 72 hours. I'm fasting 24. They're walking whatever. I'm walking this. Wherever you've been comparing, I want you to write that down on the left column, and then what your version of that looks like in the right column. When you see this side by side, you'll realize their game is different. Their game is theirs. Your game is yours. And the way you win is by playing your game until the final whistle happens, until they've blown the whistle, until the buzzer goes off, until the flag goes up. You're playing your game, and you're playing your game consistently. Because consistency brings benefit. Consistency brings benefit. So that's the power of playing your own game. The power of playing your own game. So let's talk about the fourth quarter comeback. And I love this. Sports history is filled with stunning comebacks. The Miami Dolphins erasing 21-point deficit in the fourth quarter to win. The Milwaukee Bucks overcoming a 29-point hole in the final quarter to beat the Hawks. The largest comeback in NBA history. Even Kobe Bryant once scored 21 points in a single fourth quarter to lead the Lakers to victory. The fourth quarter comeback. I love watching. Sometimes I'll see a race where the person is way behind. And in that last stretch, they come out, they hit the stride, and boom. The game looked like it was over. The race looked like it was over. But those players refused to quit. They didn't focus on the first 3 quarters. They focused on finishing. Sometimes my son and I, we're on this quest to see the NBA, all the teams play at home. And there are times when we go to a game, and at the point where we're sitting in a game, it's the fourth quarter. And it's obvious that one team is going to lose. And people start leaving the stands. And we're sitting there. Why? Because the guys, the players, the women who are on the team, they are not giving up. They continue playing until the final seconds of the game. They focused on finishing. And our goal is to focus on finishing. That's what the fourth quarter is about. That's what it's about in life. That's what it's about in health. Maybe the first 3 quarters of your health journey didn't go the way you wanted it to go. You had some complications. You made some decisions. I made some decisions that caused struggle. Even this year, maybe we struggle with food. Maybe you struggle with fasting. Maybe you struggled with stress. Or maybe you've been doing well, but you're simply tired. Either way, the game isn't over. The final whistle hasn't been blown. The final buzzer hasn't gone off. You can reset, you can reclaim, and you can finish strong. So here we're gonna do. You got your journal, you got your piece of paper, okay? We're gonna talk about this mindset declaration. And I want you to write that second half. So you got the columns on top, you got a line, and second half, the first sentence, I want you to write this. I want you to write this at the top of that part. The game isn't over. The game isn't over, period. In my fourth quarter, I will, and then I want you to put a blank. So right below that line, I want you to write, the game isn't over. In my fourth quarter, I will blank. And in that blank, I want you to finish that sentence. I want you to finish that. Maybe it's, I'll walk 10 minutes after dinner. Maybe it's, I'll swap out one healthy food for an unhealthy food. I'll make a better choice. Maybe it's, I'll pick one day to plan ahead so I can be prepared and not react in the moment. Whatever it is. What is your declaration? The game isn't over. In my fourth quarter, this is what I'm going to do. I will do this. It's not a checklist. It's a declaration of identity. The mindset that will carry you to the finish. The mindset that says that, hey, I may not have done what I need to do at the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. I may have been doing what I need to do, but I've not gotten the benefits. It's not over yet. The game isn't over. And I am going to blank. Okay? So that's the fourth quarter comeback. So what are some quick resets? What are some quick resets that we can do right now? I once had a patient who kept trying big, dramatic changes every January. Each time they would burn out by February. Next year, hey, I'm going to do big things. One of the reasons that people do not make resolutions is because resolutions have gotten this idea that, whoa, it's just something that we do, something that we're going to say, and it never happens. Because we make big, grand gestures. And we make big, grand gestures without putting structure in place. Anyways, back to this patient. One day, I suggested something smaller. Walk for 10 minutes after dinner. Swap out soda for water. Or set aside Sunday as your planning day to plan your meals. She laughed. And yeah, the thought was, oh, that's not going to do anything. But those small resets, those small changes developed into consistent changes, developed into larger changes, developed into decreased blood sugar, increased energy, and most importantly, they stuck. Right? Got it? So they stuck. So it wasn't about the grand gesture. It was about consistency. Small changes over time consistently will bring benefit. And that's the lesson. Motivation inspires, but small actions sustain. You don't need to overhaul your entire life right now. You just need a few resets that restore momentum and build rhythm. And that's the idea. And so here's what I want you to do, okay? So you have your sheet, you got your journal page, you've got the columns on top where your comparison and then your game. Then you've got your statement, the game isn't over. In my fourth quarter, I will, okay? So, but motivation is great, but it's the daily habits that win the game. And here's how you can put this into action. Right now, I want you to choose one of the 3 resets that we talked about. And in fact, you can, one of those 3, right? So whether it's walking, right? So move, the move campaign, whether it's food, benefits, or whether it is us picking a day and we're doing our routine, right? We're planning. And notice, by the way, right, that the things that we just talked about are components of the tiers, one from each tier of our health action plan. So pick one of those. And here's what I want you to do is I want you to begin thinking about it. Because motivation is great. But I want you to choose one of those, walking 10 minutes after dinner, swapping out food, balanced bites. Pick one of the days that you're going to plan ahead. Just one, because like those comebacks, momentum starts with one play, one shot, one decision, one consistent action. And when the final whistle blows, you'll be able to say, I didn't quit. I finished strong. This isn't about you checking a box. It's about identity. When you write it down, you declare who you are and how you'll finish when the final whistle blows. Just like those teams, you don't have to win the whole game in the first half. You just have to dig in, refocus, and play your game in the final stretch. That's the key. That's the key. And so let's talk a little bit about the roadmap for what's next. What's the roadmap? Well, when I first started my own health journey, I was trying to do a lot of things. I was trying to do everything. Whether it was eating better, walking, programs, but it all fell apart because I was doing a shotgun approach. Just throwing stuff. And I was hoping that something stuck. What changed everything was realizing I didn't need another quick fix. I needed a system, a framework. I needed something I could come back to no matter what season I was in. I needed something that was reproducible. I needed the structure that would help me be sustained. And that structure became my personal blueprint. And it made progress repeatable and sustainable. So that's what we're moving into next. A blueprint for sustained health. It's built on the 7 pillars of the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. You've heard them, but we're going to put them in perspective so that this is how we finish strong. So walking, the forgotten superpower. People don't give walking respect, but walking is an incredible way of lowering our blood sugars, improving our insulin resistance, and helping us to be more joyous. Walking has tremendous health benefits. We'll talk more about that. Strength training, building the engine. There's no point in having all of these muscles. Do you know that muscles are the biggest energy users in the body? And often we don't activate them. It is the metabolic engine that we're walking around with. It's a hidden sump for sugar without having to do other things, by the way. Balanced bites, the food that we eat, how we nourish, how do we infuse, how do we give energy to the body that we have with balanced bites. And we want to do that without friction. Understanding the part that food plays in our lives is so important. And making those choices. It's not about don't eat that, don't eat this, don't eat that. It's about understanding why we eat what we eat. And the fact that, for instance, I went away this weekend, I had some Cadbury chocolate. Nobody says you can't have those things, but you've got to understand what's driving them. And when you understand that, then you get to make choices. Fasting, when done right, is an incredible way of resetting our body. It allows us to begin taking away some of those broken parts, those parts that are dysfunctional, helps us to begin regulating our hormones so that we can be successful over the long term. Rest and recovery, the recharge pillar. We cannot continue to run like we run if we're not resting, if we're not recovering, if we're not restoring. Rest and recovery. And then mental mastery, the inner game. If we're going to play our own game, we've got to change our perspective on how we see the world around us and how we see ourselves. The lenses through which we view the world have a tremendous influence on how successful we are when it comes to our health. Because the world around us and in us drives our thought process. Well, let me change that. Based on our thought processes and the way we see the world has the ability to push our buttons. And if we don't understand what's going on, then we react rather than respond. And then structure and planning. Building a future requires structure and planning. It's not that you don't have motivation. It's not that you don't have drive. It's not that you don't have vision. It's not even that you don't have know-how. It's that you don't have structure and there's no plan to be successful. I throw myself into that pot. The places where I am not successful are the places where I've not put structure and planning. And so when we do that, we are able to be successful over the long term. Each pillar isn't just a tip. It's a rhythm. It's not a fad, not a gimmick, but a lifestyle. So big wins require a map. If we're going to go somewhere, we've got to have a map. And I want you to try this as your next step. Right? So we've got our sheet, got the columns, we've got the game is not over. In my last quarter, I will. Right? We're going to pick one of those things. And so I want you to write down all seven of the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll put it up for you. And I want you to rank it from the strongest to the weakest. Which area are you strongest in? I don't want you to list it according to the pillars and the number of the pillars and the tiers. I want you to list it according to your evaluation of where you are. What is the strongest? What you say, oh man, this one I've got. This one, I've got it. And it may not be that it's 100%, but it's stronger than the others, right? So we've got walking, we've got fasting, strength training, we've got balanced bites, we've got rest and recovery, mental mastery, and of course, structure and planning. List them according to your strengths. And I'm going to tell you mine. At the bottom of my list is going to be rest and recovery, because that's the one I struggle with the most. I throw my hands up. So write them down. So this is clarity. And this clarity is your starting point. This isn't about fixing them all. This isn't about beating you up over the head. This is just awareness. Seeing your blueprint laid out shows you where you're solid, and it shows you where you need support. That clarity is the foundation for what comes next. Foundation for what comes next. That's the roadmap. And so, what is your next move? What is your next move? I once worked with someone who kept falling into the start-stop cycle. Diet after diet, program after program, over and over. What finally broke the cycle was when they connected three things: their rhythm, that is their mindset, that is who they are, the alignment of actions, and the structure that held it all together. Once these all work as one, change stops being random. It becomes reliable. We have plans for every area of our lives, most area of our lives, a lot of areas of our lives, but we don't have a plan for health. We've got a plan for savings. We've got a plan for parenting. We've got a plan to become parents. We got a plan for our job, the house, the car. We got a plan for how we're going to clean the house. We got a plan for shopping. We got a plan for clothes. We got a plan for laundry, but we don't have a plan for health. We've got a plan for visiting family members. We got a cycle for that. We got a plan for our bucket list. We've got a plan for how we're going to learn how to swim, how we're going to learn how to golf. We're going to have a plan for how we're going to learn how to play basketball, but we don't have a plan for our health. Rhythm, alignment, and structure. And that's what we've been doing over the last several minutes. Number one, your rhythm. What is your declaration? What's your declaration? The game is not over. In my fourth quarter, declaration, I admit, I accept that I have a fourth quarter. This is it. Your practiced alignment with one of the things that you chose, your reset. Rhythm, alignment, do the behaviors you have match what you say you want? And then you identified your structure by ranking the seven pillars. Now we're going to work through those pillars. We'll work through the pillars. Rhythm, alignment, and structure. When these three connect, transformation isn't left to chance. It becomes sustainable. That's rhythm, alignment, and structure. Belief, behavior, and structure only transform when they're connected. Here's how you can live this out right now. You still got your sheet of paper, right? 2 columns on top, a line in the middle. You've already got 2 things written below that. And I want you to write this. This is 1 paragraph all together. Take 5 minutes to think about it and write it down. So write your rhythm. Finish the sentence. The game is not over. In my fourth quarter, I will. Your alignment, that's the reset, right? I will, whatever that reset is, that's your practice. That's what you're going to be doing. That's what you're going to be practicing this week. And then your structure, the pillars that you know you need the mindset change, you need the most attention. That's it. So you're putting a structure now to begin working on those as we move forward. Rhythm, alignment, and structure. How are we going to finish? How are we going to finish strong? This is your bridge. This is your personal rhythm, alignment, structure blueprint. It's how you finish strong and prepare for the season ahead. So here's the takeaway. Real transformation isn't random. It's built when you create rhythm, when you align your choices with your rhythm and your behavior, and when you put structure in place to support it. If you start practicing this, you won't just see short-term benefits, because we're not looking for just short-term. Now that's important, that's exciting, that's good, because we want to stop any difficulty that we're having. We want to make sure that we are not continuing to cause damage. But what we're doing is we're building a foundation that you can return to in every season of life over and over and over, and it gives predictable results. Remember our goal. It's important to have better blood sugars. It's important to have a good A1C. It's important to lose weight. It's important to have better blood pressure and cholesterol and decrease our fatty liver. All of those are important markers. They're important metrics. But our ultimate goal is, how do we keep you alive as long as possible? And how do we keep you as healthy as possible? Why? For the things that we want to engage in. We want to see our daughter or our son get married. We want to see our children graduate from college or high school. We want to be able to romp and wrestle with our kids. We want to teach some of the hobbies that we have. We want to be able to travel together. We've put so much time into our lives and into the business and into the work and into the career. And now it's time for us to retire and spend time together traveling and enjoying. We want to be around for that. That's our goal. Long, healthy, vibrant life. That's what we're shooting for. When we play our game, it's sustainable. When we have rhythm, alignment, and structure, when we realize that, hey, it's the fourth quarter, but guess what? we can have a comeback in the fourth quarter. I love it. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and I want to remind you, you have the power to take charge of your health, avoid complications, and go to the next level, creating the life you've always wanted. Together, we're living limitless lives. Together, we're moving into that next phase. Together, we are walking through the blueprint for what we're going to do in the long term. I'll see you next time in our next episode. Stay by. So what an amazing way to wrap up our Play Your Own Game series. Remember that the first 3 quarters don't define the outcome. The fourth quarter, the final minutes, is where comeback happens. And this is your chance to reset, to rebuild, and to finish strong. Next week, we'll continue preparing for the fourth quarter, and I'll show you exactly how to set up your reset so that you're ready to step into our next series of power. And if you're ready for more, you're ready for real coaching, real structure, real accountability, join us in the Limitless Living Accelerator program. That's where we walk the journey together. That is the vehicle that puts all that we learn, all that we talk about together and gives you the support so that you can be successful. We're not looking for just short-term success. We're looking for a long life, long, healthy, vibrant life. We're looking to keep you alive as long as possible and help you to be as successful and to help you to be as healthy as possible. Hey, I always say that what I do here, everything is based on our Triple E formula for success. That is, we educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the blogs. We educate with the podcasts. We educate with the shows to change our mindset, to help us to understand that how we see the world, mental mastery has such a big influence on how successful we are over the long haul. We educate. We empower with the tools that we're learning. The balanced bites, the fasting, strength, strategy, and mindset, the 100-day walk to consistency, the HEAT model, the COPE model, on and on and on. So all of those are designed to help you to put into practice the things that we learn in education. We educate, we empower, and we encourage with this amazing community that you are part of. So when you show up in the community, tell your story. Your challenges, your successes are inspiration for somebody else. The way you are, the things that you do, you're imperfect, you're challenging, you're sometimes starting and stopping. All of that you think is a problem is the exact answer that somebody else needs. Did you know that? So when you show up in the community, tell your story, share where you are. And Limitless Living says that we're not allowing anything from outside or anything from inside to prevent us from doing what we need to do. We just said that, right? We're showing up with our best self, our best health, and our best plan. And because of our Triple E formula for success, that encouragement, that means that when you become successful, when you are seeing benefits, you've got to then turn around and you've got to share that with somebody else. We are trying to uplift the entire community. There are over 1 billion people, that's billion with a B, on the planet that have diabetes or pre-diabetes. Not to mention all the countless others that have some metabolic dysfunction, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, at risk for heart disease, strokes, people who have polycystic ovarian syndrome, fatty liver, obesity, metabolic syndrome, people who are at risk for certain cancers. You can be a voice that says, hey, we don't have to keep doing this, that we can be better. And we have the potential. We can do it because we have unlimited potential to make choices. It is the decisions that we make, it's the choices that we make, it's the consistency that we have that sets us up for success over the long haul. Man, I'm so excited for the benefits that I'm seeing in the community, the successes that you guys are having, the successes that I'm having personally. I just enjoy walking along with you over the course of this journey. I can't tell you how proud I am of you. I can't tell you how much I enjoy walking and seeing the benefits that you're having. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. We will continue over the course of the rest of this week. Make sure you join us tomorrow as we start our fast. You get to see what I eat for my last meal before we begin the fast. On Wednesday, we'll do a check-in again, and then we'll do our show at 33 hours so you can see what's been going on. On Thursday, we'll do our check-in right around 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then Thursday night check-in at 56 hours. And then on Friday, we do our complete show where we do our how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast, and of course, how to break the fast. And when you come, you get to see what I eat for the first time in 72 hours. Later this week, we'll have video from the vault at Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central, and then This Week in Review on Sunday at 6 a.m. Central, right here on the channel. And we'll be right back next week for Dwain Woode MD Live as we continue in our Finishing Strong series. Hey, thank you for being here. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Good night, everybody.